不是因为汽车踩油门才能走啊？因为汽车踩油门才能走啊？
不是，我不会开车，不知道。U.S. Fed signals rate cut as market odds fluctuate. U.S. Fed signals rate cuts as market odds fluctuate. Exceptions are high for the U.S. Federal Reserve to deliver the year's second interest rate cut on Wednesday as members conclude a hotly anticipated policy meeting in Washington. Exceptions are high for U.S. Federal Reserve to deliver the year's second interest rate cut on Wednesday as members conclude a hotly anticipated policy meeting in Washington. With the meeting underway, central bank officials on Tuesday also moved for the first time in a decade to prevent market fluctuations from pushing short-term interest rates beyond the Fed's control. With the meeting underway, central bank officials on Tuesday also moved for the first time in a decade to prevent market fluctuation from pushing short-term interest rate beyond the Fed's control. U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has sent strong signals in recent weeks that a rate cut is coming, vowing that policymakers stand ready to act as appropriate amid significant risks to the economy, notable President Donald Trump's trade war. U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has sent strong signals in recent weeks that a rate cut is coming, vowing that the policymakers stand ready to act as appropriate amid significant risks to the economy, notably President Donald Trump's trade war. Meanwhile, the New York Fed on Tuesday announced an emergency measure to pump billions into the banking system through arrangement known as repurchase agreements in order to bring down short-term lending rates. Meanwhile, the New York Fed on Tuesday announced emergency measures to pump billions into the banking system through arrangement known as repurchase agreements in order to bring down short-term lending rates. The Fed cut the key policy rate in July for the first time in more than a decade, after 4 rate hikes last year, putting the range at 2.0 to 2.25%. The Fed cut the key policy rate in July for the first time in more than a decade, after 4 rate hikes last year, putting the range at 2.0 to 2.25%. But economic data in recent weeks has complicated the picture, showing firming inflation along with rising wages and consumer spending, prompting some to say fears for the world's largest economy may be overdone. But economic data in recent weeks has complicated the picture, showing firming inflation along with rising wages and consumer spending, prompting some to say fears for the world's largest economy may be overdone. The Fed also reported Tuesday that U.S. manufacturing, which had been hit hard by Trump's trade wars, had recovered somewhat in August, driving U.S. industrial output up more than economists had expected. Oxford Economics estimates the Fed will cut 3 more times this year, leaving the Fed's benchmark lending rate a 4 percentage point lower than the end of the year, erasing all of the 2018 rate hikes.
U.S. Fed signals rate cut as market odds fluctuate. Expectations are high for the U.S. Federal Reserve to deliver the year's second interest rate cut on Wednesday as members conclude a hotly anticipated policy meeting in Washington. With the meeting underway, central bank officials on Tuesday also moved for the first time in a decade to prevent market fluctuations from pushing short-term interest rates beyond the Fed's control. U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has sent strong signals in recent weeks that a rate cut is coming, vowing that policymakers stand ready to act as appropriate. Amid significant risks to the economy, notably President Donald Trump's trade wars. Meanwhile, the New York Fed on Tuesday announced emergency measures to pump billions into the banking system through arrangements known as repurchase agreements in order to bring down short-term lending rates. The Fed cut the key policy rate in July for the first time in more than a decade, after 4 rate hikes last year, putting the range at 2.0 to 2.25%. But economic data in recent weeks has complicated the picture, showing firming inflation along with rising wages and consumer spending, prompting some to say fears for the world's largest economy may be overdone. The Fed also reported Tuesday that U.S. manufacturing, which had been hit hard by Trump's trade wars, had recovered somewhat in August, driving U.S. industrial output up more than economists had expected. Oxford Economics estimates the Fed will cut 3 more times this year, leaving the Fed's benchmark lending rate a full percentage point lower at the end of the year, erasing all of the 2018 rate hikes.
2018 rate hikes. U.S. Fed signals rate cut as market odds fluctuate. Signal 发信号发暗号示意 to make a moment or sound to give somebody a message, an order, etc. Sign 标记记号加 al 名词后缀。She signaled that it was time to leave. She signaled that it was time to leave. Odds 可能性概率几率机会 The degree to which something is likely to happen. The odds are very much in our favor. We are likely to succeed. Fluctuate 大小数量质量等波动在什么什么之间起伏不定 Between A and B to change frequently in size, amount, quality, etc. Especially from one extreme to another. Fluctuate 8. 动词词尾 My mood seems to fluctuate from day to day. Odds. U.S. Fed signals rate cuts as market odds fluctuate. Expectations are high for the U.S. Federal Reserve to deliver the year's second interest rate cut on Wednesday, as members conclude a hotly anticipated policy meeting. In Washington, deliver 发表宣布发布 to give a speech, talk, etc. in order official statement. The jury finally delivered its verdict. Delivery. Let's order some delivery. Delivery. The jury finally delivered its verdict. Jury finally delivered its verdict. Conclude 结束终止 to come to an end bring something to an end. He concluded by wishing everyone a safe trip home. Hotly anticipated. Hotly anticipated. Anticipated 备受期待的 The earlier hotly anticipated movie will be released next month. Anticipate Anticipate expect, hope, look forward, anticipate. Expectations are high for the U.S. Federal Reserve to deliver the year's second interest rate cut on Wednesday as members conclude a hotly anticipated policy meeting in Washington. With the meeting underway, central bank officials on Tuesday also moved for the first time in a decade to prevent market fluctuation from pushing short-term interest rate beyond the Fed's control. Underway 在进行中 happening now. The project is already well underway. Ongoing, move, to take action, to do something. The policy moved quickly to dispel the rumors. The police moved quickly to dispel the rumors. For the first time at first sight. Fall in love at first sight. For the first time. Push 推动促使达到某种程度或状态 to affect something so that it reaches a particular level or state. This development could push the country into recession. 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 Beyond one's control. The situation is beyond your control. With the meeting underway, central bank officials on Tuesday also moved for the first time in a decade to prevent market fluctuations from pushing short-term interest rate beyond the Fed's control. U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has sent strong signals in recent weeks that a rate cut is coming, vowing that policymakers stand ready to act as appropriate aimed significant rates. to the economy, notably President Donald Trump's trade wars, notably 格外的特别的 used to say that a person or thing is a typical example or the most important example of something. The divorce would be granted when more important problems, notably the fate of the children, had been decided, particularly 特别的 stand ready to, particularly, especially, stand ready to. We stand ready to have those discussions with North Korea. Stand ready to have those discussions with North Korea. Stand ready to 准备好做. U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman Joy Powell has sent strong signals in recent weeks that a rate cut is coming, vowing that policymakers stand ready to act as appropriate amid significant risks to the economic, notably President Donald Trump's trade war. 句子的主干 Joy Powell has sent signal that 引导同位语从句解释 signal 的内容，从句是 a rate cut is coming。后面是现在分词做伴随状语 vowing， 它承诺的内容是由 that 引导的宾语从句，破折号是解释说明。Meanwhile, the New York Fed on Tuesday announced emergency measures to pump billions into the banking system through arrangement known as repurchase agreements in order to bring down short-term lending rates, pump, 输送, to make water, air, gas, etc. flow in particular direction by using a pump or something that works like pump something into something, 向大量什么什么大量注入大量资金。He pumped all his saving into the business. He pumped all this saving into the business. The heart pumps blood around the body. The heart pumps blood around the body. The heart pumps blood around the body. Repurchase 重新买商品证券买回 buy something back. Now it is the time to repurchase our stock. Through arrangement known as repurchase agreements in order to bring down short-term lending rates. The Fed cut the key policy rate in July for the first time in more than a decade after 4 rate hikes last year, putting the range at 2.0 to 2.25%. Hike 大幅提高，把价格、税率等大幅提高 to increase price, taxi, etc. Suddenly by large amounts, the government hiked up the price of milk by over 40%. Hiking 远足步行 go hiking. But economic data in recent weeks has completely complicated the picture, showing firming inflation along with rising wages and consumer spending, prompting some to say fears for the world's largest economic may be overdone. Firm 坚挺稳步上涨 to become steadily or rise steadily. To become steady or rise steadily. Ranks shares firmed 3% to 696%. Prompt 促进导致激起 to make somebody decide to do something, to cause something to happen. promotes somebody to do something, 促使某人做某事。His speech provoked an angry outburst from the man in the crowd. Overdo 做得过分，做得过火，夸张。To do something too much. To exaggerate something. She really overdid the sympathy overlay, but economic data in recent weeks has complicated the picture, showing firming inflation along with rising wages and consumer spending, prompting some to see fears for the world's largest economic may be overdone. Economic data has complicated picture, showing promoting. Economic data has complicated picture. Economic has complicated picture 后边收音引导后置定语，修饰 picture 的情形 promoting 现在分词做结果状语。But economic data in recent weeks has complicated the picture, showing firming inflation along the rise wages and consumer spending. Promoting some to see fears for the world's largest economy may be overdone. The Fed also reported Tuesday that U.S. manufacturing, which had been hit hard by Trump's trade war, had recovered somewhat in August, driving U.S. industrial output more than economists had expected. Recover 恢复健康，康复痊愈 to get well again. He's still recovering from his operation. Oxford Economics estimates the Fed will cut 3 more times this year, leaving the Fed's benchmark lending rate a 4 percentage point lower at the end of the year, erasing all of the 2018 rate hikes. Oxford Economics estimates the Fed will cut 3 more times this year, leaving the Fed's benchmark lending rate a 4 percentage point lower at the end of the year, erasing all of the 2018 rate hikes. Benchmark 基准 something which can be measured and used as a standard that other things can be compared with. Something which can be measured and used as a standard that other things can be compared with. Bench 堤岸 Mark 记号 The truck industry is a benchmark for the economy standard criterion. Erase 抹去消除 If you erase a thought or feeling, you destroy it completely so that you can no longer remember something or no longer feel a particular emotion. If you erase a thought or feeling, you destroy it completely so that you can no longer remember something or no longer feel a particular emotion. 意向外 raise 擦刮加意动词词尾 They are desperate to erase the memory. Desperate to erase the memory of that last defeat. Abolish, delete, eliminate, abolish, delete, eliminate. They are desperate to erase the memory of that last defeat. They are desperate to erase the memory of that last defeat.